Well, here we are, still kind of introducing the series on Hebrews. This is our fourth video. Be the last one that's introducing the series. Next time we'll start getting into the some of the details of the book. We'll talk about that at the end. But right now I just wanted to emphasize how important it is to have an outline of the book in mind, especially when you're looking at big books like this, 13 chapters in the book of Hebrews. Outlines are really helpful when it comes to books like this. It divides the big book itself into more learnable parts, I'd say, smaller pieces that we can consider one at a time. A verse, a few verses, a group of verses that we might be able to meditate on, apply it to ourselves, and pray it back to the Lord. Helps us, I think an outline really helps us look at each of the individual pieces without losing sight of the big picture. My background is engineering. I'm very comfortable with details, but one of the things I had to learn when I went to seminary was to look at the details in the context of the big picture of the book. That's kind of a discipline for me, and I really appreciated that. I learned a lot through it, and I hope you learn a lot through that same thing. Perhaps you're better at it already than I ever was. But the outline helps us keep that big picture in mind as we look at the individual parts. The outline also is a regular reminder of kind of the flow of the book. The Holy Spirit working through the human authors is making a point. He's developing a case. He's communicating and teaching us. And it's helpful to see in the outline how he's going about doing that. I think sometimes that there's just as much information or edification about from the Bible in understanding how the argument develops, as well as arguing the argument itself. So I think the outline keeps that in mind, shows us the regular flow of the book. And again, how the writer, in this case, is making a case for the greatness of Jesus. I told you I'd give you an outline, and here it is. Encourage you to write it down, or I'm going to give you some links down below of this video of where you might be able to find other outlines that would be useful to you. So let me give you my outline first. Divide the book into two major sections, from chapter 1, verse 1 to chapter 10, verse 18 is a section about knowing Jesus. It's introducing to us information about him, his greatness. Things that are addressed in this section are Jesus' greatness over the prophets, the angels, Moses, his superior priesthood, a better covenant that he brings in, and a better service that he provides. So chapter 1:1 to 10:18 is about Jesus being better. Chapter 10, verse 19 through the end of the book is about walking with Jesus. It addresses our life. It addresses how do we respond to him? How do we depend on him and incorporate him into our lives and become more like him? And it talks about basically three things: assurance, endurance, and love. Endurance, assurance, and love. So that's my own outline. I'll be following that. Be breaking it down a little bit as we go through the book, but that's overall a good thing to keep in mind as you both read through the book, if you haven't done that already, or as we go through it in the next year. So other outlines that you can go look at, Insight for Living, the online ministry of Chuck Swindoll, my own pastor when I lived in Dallas, the man who ordained me to Christian ministry. He has a very useful introduction to the book, an outline that's available for free online, and I'll include a link to that below. Also, one of my professors at Dallas Seminary Thomas Constable. Never had a class with him personally, but met him and know him. Thomas Constable's Notes on the Bible are another free resource. Gives you an overview of the Bible book, Hebrews itself, some background on it, and then Tom Constable's notes on the Bible are just that, his personal notes on every verse in the book of Hebrews. So a very useful resource particularly if you find yourself in the future in the position of teaching or perhaps even preaching from this book. And then finally, the last one I'd recommend, popular online Bible study resource is the Blue Letter Bible. Many of you know it. You've mentioned it to me in emails and comments. The Blue Letter Bible is, again, a free resource online, hugely extensive, a very useful online free resource for the study of not only the book of Hebrews, but your own personal Bible study, multiple languages, including the original Greek and Hebrew, lots of access to different commentaries, devotionals. It's just a really rich resource. Even if you don't use it regularly, it's good to be aware of it so that you know it's there. So there's my outline. There's 3 sources of other outlines, which again I'll leave in the information section below. I've also included it in the email. If you get an email that alerts you to when I publish these videos, it'll be in that email as well. If you're not getting that email, just drop me a note and I'll add you to the email list. What are we going to do next time? I said we're not going to get into the book itself until sometime to beginning of March, perhaps a little earlier. But next time I'm going to be looking at 3 things about the book. So I'm not going to be asking you to join us and giving you guidance on how to make the most of your time. But I'll be looking at the book itself. Look at 3 things. Number 1, we'll discuss who wrote it. Number 2, what is the book about? And number 3, what's the problem? You know, every book, every letter in the New Testament is written to solve a problem, to address something that's going on in the churches. Aren't we glad that those churches had problems? Aren't we glad that heresies arise in history that help us clarify what we believe? So Hebrews is the same way. It's addressing a problem, and it's important that we understand what that problem is, because God, by His grace and by His providence, has preserved for us this teaching that addresses the problems, because more often than not, we're going to run into the same problem ourselves, either personally or corporately in our own church. So my goal and part of my vision for this ministry is to equip you to stand firm and equip you to build up the other saints so that we all stand mature when Christ returns. So God bless you, brothers and sisters. Get an outline, keep it in mind, and let's get into the book of Hebrews. God bless you.